Peppa Pig might look perfect on the surface, but these episodes are packed with mistakes you probably never noticed. Like in the episode Muddy Puddle, we start with the pig family sitting in their kitchen. But take a closer look around. Something's off. Did you catch it? The entire kitchen countertop is missing. It's just gone. But later, when Peppa and George return to the kitchen, the countertop magically appears like it was there all along. And that's not the only mistake. When George hops off his little seat, his neck briefly disconnects from his body. Pretty spooky for Peppa Pig. Now this next one is a big slip-up from the animators. In the episode Santa's Grotto, it is Christmas time, and all of the children go to visit Santa's grotto to tell him what they would like for Christmas. When Peppa and her family go to the Christmas fair, we can also see Zoe Zebra and her mother. But the mistake is, Zoe and her mother are also on the Ferris wheel. You might think that they are different characters of the same species, but it's not possible because they're wearing the exact same clothes. How's this even possible? In the episode School Project, the pig family is in their kitchen, getting ready to build a castle for Peppa's big school assignment. At first, everything looks normal. There's even a sink clearly visible in the background. But as soon as Mummy and Daddy Pig start working on the castle, the sink just vanishes. One moment it's there, the next it's gone, like it was never part of the kitchen at all. Moving on to the episode Pedro's Cough, Madame Gazelle is giving the kids a music lesson when Pedro suddenly starts coughing. So, she calls in Dr. Bear to check on him. Now, watch carefully. As Dr. Bear enters the classroom, he's standing right in front of the door. But when the scene zooms out, he's magically moved away from it. And look behind Pedro. At first, there's nothing on the wall, but moments later, a blackboard appears out of nowhere. That's not the only disappearing act. When Susie and Danny start coughing, there's clearly a bookshelf behind them. But when the shot zooms out, their position changes and now it's a blackboard. Finally, when the children's parents arrive, things get even weirder. First, we clearly see Daddy Pig, Mummy Sheep, Mrs. Rabbit, Mrs. Dog, Mrs. Pony, and Mr. Zebra arriving at school. All good so far. But when they walk into the classroom, Mrs. Cat suddenly shows up from thin air. And hold on, where did Mr. Pony come from? Earlier, it was clearly Mrs. Pony driving. Plus, Mrs. Rabbit and Mrs. Dog, they just vanished into thin air. In the episode Best Friend, when Susie first arrives, the front door is wide open, but just a moment later, as Peppa and Susie blow raspberries at each other, the door has magically shut itself. Then, as the two dig through the toy basket, the wall next to the window looks completely bare. No pictures at all. But in the very next shot, two dinosaur paintings suddenly appear out of nowhere. And to top it all off, when Peppa puts a bandage on George, if we look at the end of her arm, it isn't even attached to her body. In the episode Dens, Peppa and George are having fun in their treehouse when their friends arrive. But this scene is packed with some really strange mistakes. First, take a close look at Rebecca. She looks completely normal at first, but just as they're about to enter the treehouse, for a split second, she suddenly has mud on her face. Where did that even come from? Then, as Rebecca steps through the treehouse door, her ears phase straight through the wall. But that's not all. When Pedro and Danny arrive, the branch Pepper is standing on magically grows longer. Like, how's this even possible? Later, as Peppa pushes George out of the treehouse, part of his nose phases right through Rebecca's face. And when Rebecca takes Richard out, his ears pass right through the wall of the house too. Seems like the animators let physics take a little vacation in this episode. Moving on, in the episode Castle, the pig family goes out to see a castle. Right here, they stop their car next to this road sign. But hang on, in the very next shot, the sign moved further away from the car. And also in this shot, the pig family is standing by a white line, which magically disappears in the next scene. And that's not all. When they finally arrive at the castle, Mr. Rabbit shows them a cannon, and there's a cannonball sitting right beside it. But just a few seconds ago, there was no cannonball in sight. And check out Peppa here. She's taller than one of the bricks and can reach up to Daddy Pig's shoulder. But in the next shot, she's suddenly shorter. And here's a funny one. When Mr. Rabbit fires the cannon, we get a shot of Miss Rabbit's stall. And if we zoom into it, we can notice a purple mug hanging up as a souvenir for sale. But the thing is, earlier in the episode, she just drank from it. Now that's really unethical, don't you think? And inside the castle, things get even weirder. Behind Mummy Pig, there's a window, which turns into a painting in the next shot. And also, when they reach the fireplace, we can see there's a window on the left, but moments later, it's completely gone. Seems like the castle has a mind of its own. The episode Super Potato is filled with super mistakes. Look at this desk behind Madame Gazelle. There are a few toys on there. But seconds later, 2 books appear out of nowhere. And later in the episode, Mr. Potato gets stuck inside his car. And to save the day, Super Potato comes in. He then uses his super strength to remove the glass roof of the car. The mistake here is that even before he completely removes the lid, Mr. Potato gets out of the car, passing through the glass roof, which completely goes against the laws of physics. It seems like it's Mr. Potato who is an actual superhero. In the episode Sleepover, there's a sneaky little detail you might have missed. When Peppa arrives at Zoe Zebra's house, the front door clearly opens outward, but the moment Peppa steps inside, the door is suddenly facing inward, like it changed its mind halfway through. And that's not the only mistake. When Peppa first shows up, she's wearing plain pink pajamas, but later in the episode, a cute little heart magically appears on them. Either Peppa had a mid-sleepover fashion upgrade, or someone in the animation department had a very long night. In the episode Ice Cream, when Peppa is giving away free ice cream to her friends, notice that Susie asks for a raspberry, and Mandy asks for a blueberry.
Can we have raspberry? Can I have blueberry, please?
However, when Peppa serves ice cream to her friends, Susie gets a mint ice cream, and Mandy gets a strawberry, but the blueberry goes to Zoe Zebra. We must say Peppa isn't that good of an ice cream seller. In the episode Painting, Peppa and George are painting some pictures. At the beginning, when they are getting things ready, we can notice there are 3 colors: blue, red, and yellow. Now, right here, we can see Peppa dips her brush in the yellow paint, and we can also notice the yellow color in Peppa's brush. But the mistake is, when scene switches from George to Peppa, the color in Peppa's brush disappears. Where did it go? Peppa's canvas is empty, so she definitely didn't use it. And that's not all. Moments later, when the scene again switches from George to Peppa, the brush now has yellow color in it. Is that a magical brush? And finally, right here we can see Peppa is making her handprint on the canvas. Now, look at the position of the drawing. It's in the middle part of the canvas, right? But the mistake is, when the scene zooms out, the position of the drawing changed. Now the drawing is towards upper part of the canvas, whereas earlier it was in the middle. In the episode Granny and Grandpa's Attic, Peppa and George go to their grandparents' house to help tidy their attic. Right when they enter the house, we can notice a hanging lamp right above them. But the mistake here is that when they climb up the staircase, we can notice that the hanging lamp is now almost glued to the wall. But earlier, the lamp was hanging up to the ground floor. Seriously, these mistakes get funnier every time. In the episode Long Train Journey, Daddy Pig receives a letter saying he must go away on business to test some very important concrete. Peppa, Mummy, and George all decide to go with Daddy and enjoy a train journey. The whole pig family goes to the station and waits for the train. When the train arrives, they sit in their respective seats. Now look carefully. When we get a zoomed out view of the train, we notice that a cat is sitting in one seat behind the pig family. But the issue is, when the train reaches its destination, the same cat can be seen waiting outside the train. Literally, the same character is inside and outside the train at the same time. Are these characters twins or what? So, that's all for today's Peppa Pig mistakes. Did you spot any other mistakes? Drop them below. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video.